Hey, my name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. Welcome. This is our ongoing series, Sketchbook series, where I am trying to show you a little bit every single night of things you could add to your sketchbook or enhance it. And yesterday we started looking at drawing eyes with emotion. I think we have a couple more things I would like to look at that, but we're going to add on to that lesson. We're going to add on to that lesson tonight mouths and what you could do with the human mouth or the mouth to make it a little bit more expressive. So this is our lesson from last night. If you want, I will put the little card that comes up here. You could click on that and check that out. But tonight we're going to turn to a fresh page here, and we are going to talk about drawing expressions with some tips of drawing the mouth. Okay, so let's go ahead and up at the top of your page, I'm going to use a ballpoint pen. This paper works terrible. I was practicing a little bit beforehand using my favorite drawing utensil, that being a Crayola colored pencil, but this paper does not want to pick it up as easy as a ballpoint pen. So I'll go with the ballpoint pen, and we'll go from there. Okay, so top here, let's just go ahead and draw two round circles here, okay? This first one, let's go ahead and just put an X and then a kind of a eye line. Now over here, we could, if we were to draw a happy face, a happy expression, we might, drop in an eye and go ahead and do this. And you drop in an eye over here, right? And if we use our chart from last night, we can raise a nice eyebrow. That's a simple, happy expression with eyes. And then if we just simply come in here like this, wow, look at that. Is that like groundbreaking right there? And not a bit. All right, I'm even going to just put a little nose on this guy. Okay, so typically when we draw faces, we end up making them all symmetrical, something like this. Well, I want you to get out of that habit right now, okay? So the easiest way to get out of that habit is simply by changing, just push it off center just a little bit, just something like this. And then that eye line, just bring it up just a bit. You see that? This will be a far more interesting smiley face. Now we could come in almost with the same exact idea, right? And then we go like this. There's your, and then you could even go off the page if you wanted to. And you can put a little nose there. So this is a much better way to draw your emotions. Try and stay, if you're just trying to do some studies of something, the way that something wants to look, you want to practice, that's one way. But when you go to actually draw your characters, whatever they might be, put it off center. So like you have like 4 main areas you could do that to. Check this out. You could go this way. There's a center line there. There's a center line there. There's a center line there. And then your eye line can be up or it can be down. It could be up and then you could go down. So, you have 4 absolutely different directions. And these could be, I've kind of made these a little bit exaggerated, but you could see how you can cause a lot of interest by just making those slight shifts. So let's then take that information and go through our 6 different categories of emotions. Let's start with happy, all right? Let's see. Let's start with happy, and let's go ahead and draw a sphere. And then I'm going to show you now, all right? So there's a center line. And because happy involves that big old smile, let's go up like this. And usually you have cheeks, your cheeks. So your happiness is going to, the muscles are going to push your cheeks up right into your eyeballs if you can make it that happy. You see what I'm saying? So let's come over here then, and let's come in here, draw one eye. There's another one. And then just look at that right there. Boom, boom. This is going to push up your cheeks right into your eyes. Upper lip. And then you can come over here and show just a little bit of the inside of the cheek. All right, let's get some. Remember all the parts of the eye you can deal with. And sometimes if you're super happy, you won't even see your eyes because you're just clenching your face and you're just happy with joy. Get your eyebrows, and we're not going to talk about noses, so we'll just drop a little nose on everyone tonight, okay? So there's a very simple, happy look to it. You could even, if you wanted to, you could even just drop in your teeth just by a quick line. All right, let's keep moving on here. Let's go to our next one. That's going to be sad. Sad. There's our sphere. Center line. And this person is going to be looking kind of for pity. So we'll kind of have them looking up. Looking up. Now, this picture right here, let me zoom in on it. Look at that. Look at it. This isn't a sad by her expression. It looks like she's looking at somebody in disgust. But if you look at her mouth, that could have a very sad feel. So you look at how the bottom lip is really punching out there. You see that? So let's add that to our drawing here. So we're gonna kind of come in here. And then this is going to be underneath that lip there. And if you remember the sad look, the eyebrows are going, the eyes are going like this, right? So let's drop in a big eye. Now make this one a little bit smaller there. That's in 3/4. And then we're going to, like this. And we're going to weld this. This is going to be like weld up with water here, or tears. And because the eyes are so wet, we want to add a couple highlights in the eyes. So just come in here with a big round pupil. I'll draw it over here so you can see it up close. Big old pupil. And then in the pupil, just draw a giant and a small. And then color in black around those two highlights. And it'll give the context that this eye is watery. So let's Come over here, do the same. All right, eyebrows. Okay, surprised. Let's do that next. Surprised. All right, we'll come down this way and we'll go like this. All right, let's give surprise some flat. Flat eyes. All right, so we're gonna come up here like this, and then big over here. All right, there's those eyebrows. And this time these pupils, I'm just gonna do like a U, a thick U. And I'm gonna extend the top there just a bit. And then the mouth I'm going to shift over here. All right. Happy, sad, surprise. What's next? We got fear. Now fear is kind of close to surprise, so let's do two here. Because we're going to change the mouth slightly so you can see the difference here. So let's come here and we'll just do a shape right there. And let's do this way and this way like this, so they're the same. And then this eye over here, let's make that big. Let's make this small. Big, small. And then in fear here, let's bring cheeks back in because this one is kind of a happy fear, okay? Like he is surprised, but there is a little bit like, All right, so let's do the same over here. We'll do the same because we're just going to change the mouth shape and you'll see a difference in reaction. All right, so this one is smile a little bit. And I'm adding kind of a teeth and a mouth teeth and a tongue. And then this one, just by changing the angle of the mouth, this guy will give him like a center part in his teeth. And then tongue is like two mountains, two hills. Okay. Anger. Anger is always fun and easy. We'll do this sort of thing. So he's kind of looking down at us with contempt. Looking down at us. He's overarching, right? And then those eyebrows are super heavy. Teeth, tongue, and we could fill in black. This one I could have done a little better. Let me redraw it really quickly over here. This is where you draw it once and you're like, you know what? We could bring those eyes much higher up. This is how you make, you're just kind of fooling around. You're like, okay, can I push the bounds of this just a bit more? I think there was a good lurch. Yeah, but he looks funny. That's not mad. Is there someone on here mad? Well, this guy has a little madness about him. Let's see here. Oh, let me do this. Yeah, look at that. All right, I like that. So I'm even gonna come in here with maybe even black. I like that. There's his nose. Oh yeah, much better. And look at this guy's. I'm looking at this reference of this picture here because it's having references are always just a great way to experiment and try things. Oh, there you go. Look at that. That's a much better mad face right there. What's up, rubber duck? Okay, last one. Last one is going to be disgust. All right, so let's put this one down here. Disgust. All right, and we'll come over here. Let's get the mouth first. So I'm just going to go straight line here. Almost like you're like lifting your lip, right? Or was this one was a little bit, yeah, this is a little bit more. This is good, a good disgust. Look at that right there, okay? And then yesterday we kind of drew this eyeball. I thought was kind of funny. And I like having the eyebrows different levels for disgust. And you could always add a little line underneath here to highlight that lower lip just a bit. All right, so there are a couple different emotions that you could check out, and let me give you a quick book review. If you get your hands on from the library, this is an old book by Jack Ham, but he has in this book he has a great section on emotions, and what he's done here, and I've never seen anyone go to this great length. An alphabetized catalog of emotions and expressions with cross references. So you can look at this face that he drew right here of aggressive, and then he has all these little sub numbers that are also faces that kind of are aggression. So face number 122, you just turn the page and you go to 122, and what do we got? Okay, this is stubbornness. You see stubbornness? So if you want an excellent resource of somebody who has been, I don't think Jack Ham is with us anymore, but this is a great book to really go deep into more expressions that you can possibly imagine. Plus, this is cartooning the head and figure, and in addition to that, his Jack Ham's books are just chock full of information and help. Look at that section on hands. I mean, is that just remarkable? So, anyways, I thought you would like to see that as well. Hey, thanks for tuning in tonight. My name is Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. This is we've gone way over the time here, but oh well, that's okay. This is my sketchbook series. Tune in tomorrow night again about 8 o'clock, same place. I'll put a link in our Facebook group. Make sure you like the video. Make sure that you give me a comment. Comments are so important, and it really helps to make things happen. Born March 15th. Really? Look at that. All right. Sharon, you're like right on it. Thank you so much. All right, go out there. Make your day great, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.